Hi everybody, Ukulele here with the thrilling conclusion of my practice trilogy with Ukulele magazine. So in the last video we talked about the C major scale and the G Mixolydian scale, and in this video we are going to use scale variations to get the most out of those scales. So when you practice scales, it's not enough to just play up and down. You know, I can practice and I can do that every day, and you'll see that you won't progress as much as you might hope just by playing the scale up and down. You're going to memorize it really quickly, and then you're not going to get any more out of that scale. So instead, when you think about practice, I like to think about practice like Steph Curry thinks about practice. So Steph doesn't just chuck up threes all day. He goes left and right, up and down the court, and he throws up threes in every situation possible. So if you've ever seen him do some crazy shot on the court, it's because he's practiced that shot like 1,000 times. So it's the same way when we try our scales. We want to go forwards, backwards, up and down, jumping around each different note. So we really know that scale well enough so that when it's game time, we're ready to rock. See what I did there? So to start, we'll take the C major scale and we'll actually add an extra note on top so that we can do some of these variations. So we're going to take the normal C major scale, and we'll just add the 5th fret of the A string at the top of the scale right there. So that'll be kind of the upper boundary right there. So we have the 3 on the bottom and now the 5 on the bottom with the pinky. So again, C major scale. And now the pinky. There you go. So that's going to be the new way we're going to play the scale. You could try this modified C major scale up and down. Nice. So now we're going to skip around these notes in what we like to call thirds. We're going to play the first note and then the third note. So that's why it's called thirds. And then we're going to play the second note. We're going to go back to the second note and play the 4th note. So you can look at the kind of scale and kind of jump around with your eyes, playing the first note and the third note, open C, then open E. Now we're going to go to the second note, D, middle finger, 2nd fret. And the 4th note, pointer finger, 1st fret, E string. And continue on. So open E, 3 on E, and you can keep following. 1 on the E string, open A, ring on 3, middle on 2, open A, ring on 3, middle on 2, and now the new note, pinky on 5, and back to 3 on the bottom. So you see we jump around. It's this pattern. We're kind of skipping and then scaling back and then skipping again and scaling back. It's very good if you can just look at the scale itself and kind of do that with your eyes to get kind of a visual pattern. But you can also look at the full exercise and do it with kind of like, you know, just read the tab. So I'll show you the tab on the screen here, and you can play along the first exercise, C major in thirds. Ready? Go. And you notice that on the way down, we had to modify it a little bit because we can't go any lower on a high G ukulele. If you have a low G ukulele, you could throw in the 4th fret on the top string to finish the pattern. But you see, we just took the simple scale, and now we're jumping around. And if you spend extra time doing that every day, you will start to internalize that new pattern. And the list goes on and on. All you have to do is move these numbers around. And eventually you'll come up with a new variation. Another popular variation is to take 3 notes at a time. So we start with the first note, C, and then we go 3 notes. So 2, and open E. And then we start on 2 on the C string and continue 3 more notes. And start on E and do 3 notes. And so on. So when you hear this whole exercise, you're actually going to hear a nice rhythm that goes with playing 3 notes at a time. And so we call this C major scale in triplets. So you can check out the tab again and try out C major scale in triplets. Ready? Go. And backwards. Yeah, so those are just 2 variations of that C major scale. And like I said before, the list goes on and on. The way that I like to organize my variations is simply by numbering the scale itself. And the nice thing about this is once you get a hold of the number system, you can take any scale that you learn and use that same number system to create your variations. So what I mean is when you're doing the C major scale, the first note is going to be 1, 1, and it's nice practice to also sing the note while you number it. So you're going to go 1, and then next note is going to be 2, 2, and going on, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's the sound of the C major scale. And now you have numbers attached to each note. So now numerically, you can create your own patterns. You can think about, oh, I want to do 4 notes at a time. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, and kind of use that pattern. And it's a really cool exercise if you can start learning them based on the numbers. And that's a whole other topic altogether when we get into sight singing and playing by ear. Those numbers are super valuable. So the last thing about variations is that you can take these variations that we learned and just move them up to the next scale. So the Mixolydian scale, the G Mixolydian, starting on the 7th fret C string. You can go ahead and play that for yourself. And again, like last time, we're going to add an extra note to the top, the 12th fret on the A string. Just kind of scoot your pinky over and then scoot it back. And we're also going to add a note on the bottom. Now, this is going to sound funky because when we do the Mixolydian scale, the bottom note and the note after it, or before it rather, is going to be the 2 frets down. So I'm 7th fret on the C string, and the extra note is now going to be 5 on the C string. So when you hear these variations, they're going to sound a little bit different, but the pattern is going to be the same. If I were to number the notes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then I would take those same numbers in my variations. So try out the G Mixolydian variations here, and you'll find that it's a similar feeling, except when you get to the new note, that 8th fret on the bottom, it's going to sound a little bit funky. Here we go. G Mixolydian variations. Start with the, let's start with the scale all the way up and all the way down. Ready? Go. And now, thirds. Backwards. See that funky note? All right, and then last but not least, we'll do the triplets. So 3 notes at a time. Ready? Go. backwards. And that's it. Your first couple of variations on both the C major and Mixolydian, G Mixolydian. And now that you know the system, take your scales and write down the numbers 1 through 8 and see if you can come up with your own patterns. See if you can put the numbers in some mathematical equation, beep boop, beep boop, throw it through the machine and see what it sounds like. And the more you do this, the more you'll be able to take your game to the next level. Play on, player. Yukon, everybody.